Log into gyroscopemeet.com, the hottest online radio station in the world. GS Radio all day, all night, worldwide. Powered by Gyroscope Media Group, LLC.
GS Radio, the best internet radio station worldwide. Providing the best in music and talk shows. Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio, internet radio station powered by GMG, LLC.
Angel Reese. Angel Reese singing Scantily Clad Fences. That's what it was.
What's up, y'all? It's Marlon Randolph, yeah. We are back with episode 2, man, of Staff Meeting Podcast, man. I'm your host, Marlon Randolph. I'm happy to be in the building with y'all. Make sure every Wednesday, y'all, check us out on all the streaming sites that we have listed, all right? YouTube, Twitch, we're available on all of them, and we're popping this and getting it going, and we're just happy you guys are being part of this journey because there is a lot of competition out there, but there is no competition when it's just you. And what I mean by that is the staff meeting team, because we're the best in the game. All right. So let's get rocking right into it, man. Y'all know I got my guys here with me, man, that rock out with me every week. Last week, I think I did A first, then I did chocolate. So we're gonna go on my left-hand side. Y'all know who he is, man. Please give it up for the very talented, always skillful DJ Chocolate's in the building. Let's go.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What up, man? What's good?
Staying busy.
You staying busy?
Staying busy.
Well, that's a good thing. And the family's doing good?
Family doing good.
So what do you, since last Wednesday and now, just if you can, in a few sentences, what have you been getting into?
Well, my main focus, one of my main things is that I'm a Mason, so the lounge was closed for about 5 or 6 years. So COVID and everything like that. So we open up October 3rd is when we open. So it's going good. It's slowly growing. More and more people are coming because it's circulating around that we're back open. We had a good run, got a good name for it. For the lounge. So it's just that's been one of my main focuses as well. Let's get more shows, podcasts coming to the station because I'm still in the rebuilding stage from some life situations that came up, but and that's going good too. So,
All right, congratulations. So you're a Mason out in Patterson?
No, in Inglewood, Shallow number 53.
Shallow number 53, Inglewood in the building.
But Patterson is our brothers.
Okay.
Patterson is our brothers.
I saw something on Patterson yesterday on the news where a 10-year-old girl, 11 years old, whatever, she was walking her dog. It's one of those dogs that help take care of people. I forgot what they call it, but it's a dog that take care of people. It's a small terrier, and they showed on the TV that some lady went to the store and she took the terrier.
Wow.
She took the terrier and they got her filmed and everything, and they've been trying to get the terrier back. People in America take dogs pretty serious.
Yeah, they do. It's like
Jersey,
some people, it's like having a child. I mean, they take
the irony though that Jersey is telling people they can go out and shoot bears for not, because they want to control the population, but here we are looking for a little terrier. Who's to say whose life is more important?
I mean, Humans. I mean, everybody's life should be important. You know.
I'm saying, but in the bear family, like, so the bears get to get killed and shot, and as we look for this little terrier, like, isn't it amazing how government can tell you what animal is more important than the next animal?
Yeah. I mean, they dictating. They doing what they do.
You can shoot bear, you can shoot deer, but if you might Vick that dog, you going to prison.
Or even the ducks that walks across, and you got to stop for them
Oh,
until they cross the road. Yeah.
yeah, the whole family.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
yeah.
You got to
But
wait.
if you hit them, that's illegal.
Yeah, that's a fine.
Yes, yes, it is.
That's a fine, brother. I
Oh
think
man, they
think
should
it's
Vick
like
got
five. I
me.
think it's like 500 or better, something like that. I think, but it's a
The whole
fine.
family or per bird?
That's per bird.
What's what is that for? Good for family.
Per family.
It's not a group deal, dog.
It's not a group bill.
Oh
Oh
man.
man, so y'all know who my guy is, man. Well, man, hey man, welcome back. We love you, brother. Thank you for being part of the team. So I know that you're going, just to give everybody heads up, I know you're going to be in and out tonight because you got some family business, and it's all good, man. So we appreciate you. Whatever you can do and provide, we appreciate it. We need it. We love it. We want it. My man down below, y'all know who this guy is, man. Always providing, man, some of the like good perspectives on information that just sometimes we're not up on, man, doing amazing activities out there, man, in Jersey, man. He's an activist, he's a teacher, he's a father. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Abe is in the building. Let him hear it.
Good evening. Oh, I think activist is ambitious, but I won't turn it away. Um, Chuck, when you say a Mason, just for perspective, who started the Masons?
It was started. Whew, that's a good question. My brain is just
Is
shot, but
uh,
it was started years ago. Um, because
pre what's the name?
huh?
Pre Civil War. This is
Free and
this
accepted Masons is
1700.
what we are.
Yeah,
But
it's not Paul Cuffey, but it was definitely a black man. It was definitely a black man. I
it
should
was a
have it.
black man, but there's so many um
Denomination.
different types of Masons. Like I'm a free and accepted Mason.
Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
you know,
I'm
so
all for it.
it's but it's a lot. But it was started by a black man because they couldn't get into the white man's
Mhm.
thing. So
That,
it was started and it just grew. All around the world.
very much so. That is a fact. But I'm here. I am here. Still building and putting more and more into it. There's a lot to get into. Uh, Marlon has Marlon's gonna rip the band-aid off tonight. Like he's like yeah, we're gonna get into a couple things that might be a little touchy. Won't say we'll hurt feelings, but definitely uh, put your seatbelts on. Put your 3D glasses on tonight.
Put
You
your
already know.
seatbelts on, leave your sensitivity at the door, and let Rav Transvan hold on to
Indeed,
it.
indeed.
All right, so last week we went hard in the paint on. We talked a lot about last week. We talked about a slew of things, right? So it's political season. And I know as a comedian, people are always looking for me to make them laugh. Ha 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 ha. But I think that is important that all comics are themselves, right? So for me, I love talking about everything on the table, and not just trying to make people laugh like I'm some type of jester for the king. That's not my thing. I like that. That's not my jester for the king. That's not my thing. I want to focus on
Yes, sir.
something that former President Obama said last week, and I want you guys to take a listen. I know some of you guys already heard this and saw it, but I want you guys to see and hear this, and then we're going to do a deep dive into it. Let's go.
Let me do it the other way so they can hear the audio.
Indeed.
All right. So while he's getting that together, yeah, I'm sure everybody talked about this already. About Obama said something toward black men. He was talking down on them. But I want to hear the audio. I want us all to listen to it first before we give an opinion on what we think. And just because everybody talked about it, don't mean that we can't discuss it, because a fresh take coming from a different perspective and a different podcasters always mean that it's new and first for the very first time from us. And that's all that matters. Let's go.
You're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down? That's not acceptable. You're thinking about...
All right. So thank you for that, Chop. So let's not turn this to a civics class. Let me just talk about when you watch a Netflix series and there's 12 episodes of a season, and here's a better one. You watch Games of Thrones, and let's just say people start watching House of Dragons and they're not familiar with Games of Thrones, even though House of Dragons happened before Games of Thrones, and you're trying to get familiar with how the characters are, who's in charge, who has the power, what's going on. And let's say you not familiar with everything, and then you jump in it, and all of a sudden you don't really know where to stand, who's right, who's wrong, or who you really want to, cheer for. You might be cheering for a bad guy. Who knows? I feel like that's what politics is. I feel like politics is exactly what that is. And some of us been watching this timeline of events for a long time. And I say all that to say, I don't give a F if Jaguar Wright was going up against Donald, the former president. I would vote for Jaguar Wright. And the reason why I say that is because, and I put on TikTok today, two things that happened. Charlottesville and, oh, that's hilarious, balloons. Charlottesville and January 6th. Mob mentality in America cannot be tolerated. And when somebody has the power to create a mob mentality, we should all be scared. Because by the time that mob is together, you cannot turn back that clock. It's very hard. And then I feel like the former president is really good at forming mobs. That alone, for me, is a problem. Now, Harris is coming in, and all she's going to do is do what the Democratic Party want her to do, and the Senate is not going to work with her. I'm just giving y'all kind of like a synopsis of the season of what's going on. The senators are not going to work with her. They're going to block everything that she puts on the table. They're going to filibuster everything she puts on the table. And that's just the way they did Obama, and that's just the way it's going to go.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Because I feel like that is not that kind of democracy where it's not a king in charge. You have the Senate are the hands for the president. And if the Senate is not working with you, you have to do executive orders, which is what the former President Trump did. And it's really hard to get bills passed without the Senate.
Okay, well, I just wanted to put a pin in that. But no, go ahead. Finish your thought. I don't want to derail you.
You're fine. Thank you, brother. So you got remember how it works, right? You got Congress, Senate, the vice president usually sign the bill. He takes it to the president to sign. The bill has to make it to the vice president. 9 times out of 10, a lot of bills fall flat. They don't even make it to the vice president because it never really gets voted properly through the House of Congress to make it to the Senate. So they can talk about all the bills they want to pass. They can talk about the things they want to do, but a lot of them fall flat. And this is why the former president, Trump, he had to sign a lot of executive orders, and he bypassed all of those guys, which is why then everybody starts saying, well, Obama didn't do it. And you're watching this in plain sight right now with Jack Smith, who want to take the case of what happened January 6th to the people, and you have judges who are saying, well, the Senate didn't select you, Jack Smith, to be on the case. Therefore, the case is not valid. They have the power to strike it down because they feel like they didn't play a role in choosing him to be an investigator or the head lawyer. I forgot what his actual, he's state attorney or prosecutor, whatever it is. They didn't choose him. So therefore they feel like it's not valid enough. And that's how the games get played. The house of cards, that's how it get played. It's who has the next card that they can throw down in the house. So I feel like she's going to catch that, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't support her. What Obama's saying is what I felt he was doing was talking to all the rhetoric on the internet. There's a lot of rhetoric on the internet about how black men feel. I don't believe that. I believe 80% of the black men who have a whole brain is not walking around here like a Jonathan, what's his name? The dude who played in Creed, Jonathan Majors or a SEAL. And the reason I call those guys out like that, because we know black guys like that who call themselves, they'll say, hey, listen, I might be black, but I'm not black. They go around constantly talking about how they not black. They constantly go around talking about why they don't like black women. They constantly go around and talk about why black people need to do this and do that. Those guys, you can't pay them any attention because they have a motive. Obama's talking to them, and I don't even know why he wasted his time talking to them. The bottom line is I think that if most black men understand what's going on, any of them that got sense understand what's going on. And I think that Obama was really just, he did a backdoor move. It was, hey, I'm going to act like I'm just talking to a few of y'all, but recorded on the phone, and we can pretend it was recorded without my permission and release it to CNN. It was done with a cell phone and not an actual phone. So that was a backdoor move, so he didn't have to be held accountable. I don't believe that all these people are mad at him. I don't believe he was talking down to black men. I didn't feel like he was being condescending and talking down to me because I know where I stand. Just like you can't tell me if I got on pink shorts that I like men. I know where I stand. I just wanted to wear pink today. I'm just saying, I'm not that sensitive that you can pinch into my heart about where I stand in life with any issue. So I didn't take that from the former president, but people did. So what do you think? Do you feel like he was talking down to us?
Me, all right. I'll say this. First, with what you said, you don't want to make this a civics lesson, but it kind of does go that way. But to not get to what you're saying, let's not get too much into the weeds of things. But with that being said, we do have, if I'm not mistaken, a Democratic Senate as opposed to House, and the Vice President too. What you were saying, 50 senators, two from each state. The Vice President does break if it's a 50-50 tie. The Vice President does break the tie. That is a fact. That's just how this thing works. There are different states have a different amount of House representatives. They're voted on differently or whatever. We're not going to get into the weeds of things with that. Do I think that they will fight everything that comes across with Kamala Harris? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Howard's homecoming weekend is this weekend. It's going to be a zoo. I'm not going to be there. Last time I was at Howard homecoming, it's everything that Biggie Smalls said. Don't worry, that's just my hip hop shit. Don't worry about it. It's everything. It's everything about Cam getting shot in the arms. Howard homecoming is an event. You should get there. But to all of that, do I think that Obama was coming down? I'll address those who think. Do I think that Obama was coming down on black men? As somebody who's a little, I guess, younger than you, a little young. When did we get so soft? Whether he was or he wasn't, I mean, if the person who held the highest office is saying, "Oh, you should go out and support this one or whatever," and maybe he was doing a little finger wagging, maybe he was. So what? Wasn't true.
Right.
Like, do like Did he need, but in what he said, did he tell a lie?
Yeah,
Did you forget that?
yeah,
You people are of, I mean, the Central Park Five is older than the Exonerated Five. That's what them gentlemen want to be called. They're
right,
older than me. But
right.
to those gentlemen who don't want to hit, like, whoa, what if you were in New York, or if you are in New York at that time, or whatever may have you, would you have been one of them teams that was wilding? We go back to 1619 Project and I was gonna say, well, I was gonna say the wrong. Hannah Nicole Smith. I was gonna say another Nicole. Don't worry about it.
Right.
But but she heard from, like, yo, we heard about Wild, and we heard about Wild. And to those who were from um the locks and wilding out or whatever, would you have been one of those teens, and could you have been someone who was wrongly accused, then a former president taking out and not retracting it, saying that they should receive the death penalty for teenagers who were wrongly accused? Did he tell a lie? Like, why is everybody feeling so hurt because somebody spoke to you demonstratively? I had a father. I'm a father. I'm the son of a father. And so speaking demonstratively don't necessarily mean like, oh, he wrong. Don't talk to me like that. Like, what are we talking about here? Um, that's
It's all,
silly
it's
to
all, it's all, it's all deflection.
very much so.
It's all deflection. I think. Look, I watch a lot of the other TV shows such as The Five. Um, these guys, they talk about a lot of black people like they're some type of gang. They say the blacks. It's very offensive. They get away with it at 5 o'clock every day. Brett Beer on Fox, the blacks. They're able to get away with just saying black men like it's a monolithic are blocking to the former president, and they don't get any pushback from the people that's sitting in front of them. And the reason why they don't get any pushback is because people don't want to lose their jobs. I just hate that the black radio stations, the black universe pick up those talking points and they reiterate it and regurgitate it on a Ricky Smiley show, a Charlemagne show, all these shows. For instance, I'm starting to hear a lot from black men. I'm starting to hear a lot about how black people are emotional and not logic. That's something that started over there in Fox. That's something that started over there to say that you're not able to have a conversation in logic, so all your emotions are being upset. It's to dismiss anything that you have the right to be angry about. I've spent my entire life not being able to be a human being because I know if I express any type of emotion, I already know what that means.
You should be entitled. You should be entitled to your emotions. What I will always say, once again, I'm a man. I'm the son of a man. My father was a man. So what I truly do mean by that is people, and people say this all the time. Uh, men, well, how I've heard it, men shouldn't have emotions. You get to be a human. I don't think a man should be governed by his emotions, but you're allowed to have them. You're allowed to feel a type of way, but should that inform your decision making? There, okay, now we're talking about something. But yeah, no, men get it. I get to be, I get to feel the full spectrum of having emotions. Now, how I'm gonna deal with you once something, now that's something different. Because what I put to the side, or what I deal with once I retreat to my own space, or however, and that might be a toxic trait or whatever, man. Wherever you want to classify it, yeah. As a man, you do have to do a bit of compartmentalizing with this type of stuff. But yeah, no, you get to have emotions, and that's I think it's absurd to think that one group of people, one subgroup of people is just not supposed to. You can't love your daughter.
I can't even get upset about my kid. I can't get upset about my kid. According to society, I can't get upset about anything. I can't get upset. But just so we don't derail too far off, thank you for
Part of
that,
it.
number one. No, thank you for that, number one. Number two, this this whole like I watched Lord Jamar on the Art of Dialogue repeat those things, and I think that at some point they're racist tropes. I really do think that when you dismiss people and tell them they're emotional or not logical, that's a brand new way of dismissing anybody from having any form of emotion to any conversation. I watch men, and particularly white men, argue and fight like children on Piers Morgan 7 times a day. And I never hear them say, "You're being emotional. That's not logical." But you got a guy like Byron, I can't think of his last name right now, who goes around to black communities telling them they're emotional, they don't voting for Harris doesn't make any sense. But when you start to talk to any of these black Republicans who are grifters, you start to talk to them about, huh?
From Florida.
Who, Byron?
From Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not fake male Jamaican. Not fake male Jamaican.
Yeah, he from Florida. Yeah. That guy is he's dangerous because what he does is he creates a narrative and he keeps you on that narrative and then he deflects you from the past. He goes back to talking about the future in the narrative and he doesn't want to talk about any real context. And he's been doing that at the Breakfast Club. He just did it again on Revolt. He did it in barbershops. This is it, anyway. I don't think that he should be going around. He wasn't voted by black people, but he want to go around telling black people what they need to do. I just find that really interesting. You know,
He left his black wife. He left a black woman for a white woman who went to go take over school boards to try to get black history pulled out of school boards. But but but
I don't judge a man on who he married. He can
that's
marry.
not no. That's not no. To that, that's not what I'm saying because this isn't about your choice in wife. This is about what you chose to do. He did leave one woman, then invite that woman to his wedding with another woman, and then to that the white woman that he married, she went to go. She's a school administrator who is trying to get parts of Black history omitted from school. That's the only reason why we're putting. That's the reason why I put race into the context or whatever may have you.
No, you good.
And to that, to what you said about him, and then you had made mention of Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club, and I haven't heard much from Ricky Smiley, but when I do travel down I-95, I do turn on Ricky Smiley. I've had enough of it. I mean, and I will not sit here and act like I know Charlemagne. I had him host a party because I promoted events before. He did, but we kind of we tipped. You know, we stuck a toe in it last week about gatekeepers and people who are chosen. I don't think he's necessarily gatekeeping as much as what gives him this this political acumen to where Byron Donalds is his name. What gives Charlemagne where we think he's the one to vet politicians? He's not a political science major. He doesn't even claim to be a journalist. He literally will say, "I'm not a journalist."
So this is a good time. This is a good topic because I've always thought that Charlemagne should not be leading any conversation when it comes to politics. But the reason why he's getting the green light from the powers that be is because of his numbers. It's that simple. If he has put it like this, Tom Joyner, when I was coming up back in the days, Tom Joyner used to have a segment with Tavis Smiley would come on and he would do maybe 5 minutes of politics. Al Sharpton would come on and maybe do 5 minutes of politics because that's where majority of Black America was. So you couldn't get a lot of Black Americans to listen to any of the things that was going on with politics on the other stations, so they would bring those segments to those stations. And you didn't have a choice because if you got all of Black America listening at once on a syndicated show like a Tom Joyner or whatever, today, of course, it's Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey, but back then it was Doug Banks and it was Tom Joyner. If you can get all of Black America on there, then of course you want to bring in a political scientist such as a Tavis Smiley to talk about what's going on political wise, so people can kind of be up to date. What has happened over the years is that so those shows are those shows, and you have to praise Charlemagne a little bit because Charlemagne could have just stayed into hip hop, stayed into music, followed the whole Wendy Williams path, which is, see how many buttons he can push for ratings. But instead, he started to tip into social content. And he started doing that maybe about 10 years ago or more. And the more he got into it, the more green light they started giving him. I kind of like the fact that he's forcing hip hop. He's forcing a lot of actors, and he's bringing them all at the same table to discuss social issues that has a lot to do with Black folks. And no one else is willing to do that with that kind of number, with that kind of base. No one else is doing that with that kind of base. People out there got bases, but not that big.
Well, and to that, which I'm not even really mad at, and I don't even, to what I said at the onset, there are studied people in these areas. I don't think nobody does not have a right to have an opinion. But the fact that, and I mean, and maybe this is the media part, that's not true. This is definitely the media part of the game. I'm not mad at him having an opinion. I'm mad that everybody takes his opinion as golden as if he's a studied individual at it. Because the truth of the matter is there, once again, to what you're saying, there are studied individuals. These are majors. People go to school and truly invest in these things. I'm not mad at him for that, but let's not forget, he is also the biggest catalyst for Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz just was chuckling with Donald Trump on, talking about, I'm truthful, and everybody knows you don't. You know, they know that they're talking about Donald Trump live.
That bothers me too. That bothers me. Every time I see Charlemagne sitting with Andrew Schultz, it bothers me. He should. When guys sit with an Andrew Schultz, you sit with a Vlad. You're giving them a pass to have a lot of opinions in our cultures, and you're giving them a pass to have a lot in our culture. You're giving them a pass to say, if they feel to call Kamala retarded, and just the things I've watched these guys do on Joe Rogan and Andrew Schultz, and to see Charlemagne sit back and not really.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I also think he's compromised. He works for iHeart.
Get it?
And he's got to find a medium. If you're in his position, right, and your entire livelihood is based off of this platform, how do I please the office and not lose my people? And I think he's been doing a really good job staying in that gray area.
But to that, he is not the first and will not be the last. I don't think we're talking about someone. I don't think we're talking about an ignorant individual, a person who don't know. As much as I think we're talking about, oh, I think I can do it. Oh, I think I can be first. And Arsenio Hall tried to be first. And you know how he bowed out? He brought on Louis Farrakhan and then said, because everybody thinks, oh yeah, well, I can kind of, that's not the truth, excuse me. You think I can kind of play the game and then bring the coach to the seat, and none of the people who, if you truly say these are your heroes, they don't die rich. They don't die. They're praised after they're gone. And I'm not telling him to throw it all away. Lord knows I'm not. But at the same time, what I'm not saying is please, 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 Charlemagne is a personality and he has an opinion. And I think to those who want to tune in, tune in. But at the same time, he's not, these people aren't the said leaders, even though they are propped up in that position. And I just think that's a dangerous thing. I mean, we haven't heard from Tommy Lauren since. I mean, hey, she went away, but to what Ebro was saying, she has nothing positive for black folks. Byron Donalds, blackface white man, nothing positive for black people. Now I understand he got a job to do, but we can't keep following these people who they just don't mean you no good.
Well,
It's
I
a
learned this a long time ago. There's no such thing as a leader. The only leader is the mirror. So if those guys chose those platforms to do what they're doing, Byron, who's being funded by radical right-wing parties to go from town to town and tell people like these guys, they're easy to find, right? At Aretha Franklin funeral, there was a guy that went up and said, "You're at Aretha Franklin's funeral." He goes up and he says that most of the black on black crimes is because daddies are not in the house. This narrative that this burden black men have to carry, that they're not taking care of their kids, they're not in the home, they kill each other. So these same people that gave you that narrative are the same people that's telling you you're emotional. They're the same people that's telling you you're not logical. They're the same people that's telling you. Charlemagne is just making a choice to say like I need to keep this platform and speak some truth in it and sell some books. So I keep giving him a pass only because I used to have to search for other guys to listen to. You want to listen to Al Sharpton, you got to get Sirius XM Radio or Sunday at 9 o'clock. I love the show to come on before Sunday at 9 o'clock. Those guys have been dying off, on BLS. And then you have I like Michael Smuckakis. He comes on XM every day. I think he's good. But then you start to realize that all these guys are getting the same email in the morning that's telling them what the talking points are for today. And when you hear talking points like, okay, in the next 50 years, that majority of the country is going to be all Mexican. Those are dog whistles to other Americans that they need to make sure that they clutch their vote and stick together because they're going to lose their country. Those talking points are not real. They are fear tactics and dog whistles. And when you hear that stuff on the other side, and then you start to see how it's working because we react on this side based off what we hear off CNN, based off what we hear off MSNBC. So Kamala has to go out and do some type of plan for black men, specifically, while black men are not asking Donald Trump to do any type of plan. It makes no sense. So do we want
Yeah, they
to
think he identifies with going to jail. They think all black men identify with that.
right, right. So for all my life, it feels good to hear somebody talk about something that has nothing to do with jail. Because every time there's a presidential election and they talk about African American men, it's always talked about in a way of, okay, we know we locked a lot of y'all niggas up last year, but we know what, we gonna cut that in half this year. So that's why you should vote for me. That's how all those conversations are. And we just accept it because we know that we're powerless. We're not really powerless, but we understand that we don't have the numbers. We know that, I always say, man, thank God for hip hop and basketball. Because, you
It's
know,
funny.
because a lot of these guys, man,
Well, that's funny.
I'm serious though. A lot of these guys that's millionaires, man, it's really through them sitting down and expressing their pain and adding a beat to it.
I'm not mad at it, and I love. I will always love the culture, but to what you just said, like I just said, that if we could find a way to not let those people who are entertainers, which hey, get your money as much as I work, get money.
Right.
They're not leaders. And I hear what you're saying about you don't have the, but you do need somebody um to drive the political force with some of this stuff. You do
He's
need
doing it.
somebody
Look, he has had Dr. Cloud Anderson on. He's had the head
cool
of
with that.
Charlemagne.
No, I said I'm cool with that. I said I'm cool with
Yeah,
that.
he's had the head of, I forgot, the Jewish organization. He'll have
Yeah.
Umar on one day, then he'll have the guy, the head of the Jewish organization, to come and explain some of these things that people seem to be really lost on the sensitivities when it comes to that community. There's been a good balance, and listen, man, I'm with you. I'm giving Charmaine grace, but I'm also with you when I say I even felt like I watched this morning. He interviewed Kamala Harris town hall, and I don't think he was the guy for that. I don't.
That I haven't heard it yet. I know you sent it out. I've heard a couple clips. It, it, it,
He's
that's
not the guy for that.
exactly what I'm.
He's not the guy for that.
That's all I mean. Just that you are not like and to that it takes which I'm not saying he has or does not have. It takes a certain amount of humility to say thank you for this opportunity, but I need a political scientist too, someone who studied to do
Yeah.
this. That takes a that to say once if to put it in our terms.
Mhm. I'm a firm
Abe,
believer.
I think you are a pretty engaging, funny individual. Why don't you come host an event? I'm not a host, but what I can do, I do know a comic who can do some. Sometimes you have to pass the opportunity. I pass it to you because and that's what I mean. I
That's not
mean,
going to happen
I
because
call it
it's
radio, but yeah.
That's not gonna happen because they're looking at the larger picture. Like this could possibly be the first female, first black female. They think they're looking at historic value with it and all that, and it becomes more of a opportun it's an opportunist culture. I think they all play a role in that, and that's too bad because listen, I don't care who and what black person sit with a president. Martin Luther King was right. Um, the 12-point plan by the Panthers was right. And it's all about just equality, equity. It's about fair justice. And it goes back down to just being treated as an American citizen and a human being. And
Come
King,
on, come on. All right, I have my daughter here. She has woken
it's
up.
okay. And King last campaign, the Poor People campaign, was the campaign that was going to help black people because when you're helping, look at her, she's precious. When you help all people and not alienate people, black people benefit from that. Black people are not going to benefit from that. That's just for them. They're going to benefit from something that's for everybody, and it's just about getting everybody aboard. And that's why identity politics sucks because right when you start to get other people involved, these guys come with the fear tactics and make other people feel like, well, I don't want to mess around with them. So I'm gonna stay on this side where it's safe because I want to protect my family and my money.
Well, we all know what this country was founded on,
Yeah,
and that it is a changing country.
yeah,
The numbers are changing, but the numbers are changing around the world.
yeah.
And as it is noted, Ghana has the largest population of people under, I think it's 30 years old. So the world is moving, and by 2051, America will not be a majority um, Anglo-Saxon country. That is a fact. So
I don't believe that, but I hear you.
I mean, that's just the trending. That's just the trends of the numbers. That's
Yeah,
just no. That's not what I'm making up. I mean, now I can't tell you I've done so much at uh, uh, I have not vetted the numbers, but I just took them from whatever the said trusted source was. So
mhm.
so that
I
is
was just
that.
talking about that. That source comes from, but that's hey, that's neither here or there. But look at her; she's gorgeous. Look at her; she heard you. She couldn't go to sleep because she heard you.
You know that's exactly what it is. I'm going to have to cut out. I know Chalk has family obligations, but family is always family.
Oh, you got it. You got good timing anyway, because it's about that time. And Chuck not even here to close us out. Hilarious.
He need to get back.
Oh, there you go.
I'm back.
You got good timing, man. We about to close out now, man. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us this week, man. We definitely wanted to do a deep dive on the former president, what he had spoken, said. As you can see, we spent a lot of time talking about Charlemagne as well, and we did that because we do have opinions about Charlemagne sitting up with Andrew Schultz, who Andrew Schultz is very disrespectful to the culture. He's done it on stage. He's done it on his shows. And long as he gets to sit with a Charlemagne, he never gets to be tagged or be held accountable. And that's the same thing that goes on with some of the other podcasters, man. So it's going to take some of those guests. It's going to take the Charlemagnes to check these guys and make sure that they bring some balance and some respect to the show. So this was good. I'm glad we discussed it. Next week, I can't wait to kick it with you guys. We had a guest. Maybe I'll be able to get him on next week. Chuck, anything you want to say to the people before we leave?
Just come on back.
What about you, Abe?
Prince Hall. That's what I was thinking about, Chop. Prince Hall.
Prince Hall.
Prince Hall Freemasons. Yeah. But as I like to say, because she's about to go.
Go get her in bed, man.
As I'm not actually to agree, but I am actually to think these were definitely just some of my thoughts.
I love it. All right, guys. I'm Marlon Randolph, Staff Meeting. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.